Hello everyone, I'm Rhino Clavin with your Diz Daily Fix for February 14th, 2017. Happy Valentine's Day. Here's what's going on in the news today. So first up, nearly 3,000 passengers aboard the Royal Caribbean's Majesty of the Seas woke up this morning still docked at Port Canaveral. Drama. The ship was supposed to set sail yesterday, that's Monday night, at approximately 5 p.m. For a 4-night cruise to the Bahamas. Apparently, it's aged life vests that held the ship at Port Canaveral overnight, and passengers were not able to disembark because U.S. Customs and Border Protections agents, had already gone home for the evening. WFTV reported yesterday that, quote, the U.S. Coast Guard conducted a routine inspection of Majesty of the Seas, said Cynthia Martinez, a Royal Caribbean spokeswoman. They came across some technical issues, including some outdoor life jackets that were showing their age. We have hoped to have replacements join the ship today, and we expect to address the other issues shortly, Martinez said. The ship stayed in port overnight until they arrived. The ship is expected to depart today, sometime Tuesday, that's today, this afternoon sometime. So we'll see. That's kind of I wonder if people just went to bed and woke up and were like, oh, here we are in Nassau, and it looks a lot like Florida. But here's hoping. I know cruises are very expensive, so here's hoping that those folks can get departed and the right customer service measures will be taken. So on to our next story, which involves SeaWorld Orlando. Questions have been raised by animal rights advocates regarding the details surrounding the death of SeaWorld's orca whale Tilikum. 36-year-old Tilikum was the subject of the popular documentary Blackfish. He passed away in January after suffering some serious lung infection. Now, the law requires SeaWorld to notify the federal government as to the cause of death, which it has, stating that the whale's death was a result of bacteria pneumonia. Additional details have not followed, however, as SeaWorld will not be making the results of Tilikum's necropsy public. Necropsy? I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. But anyway, according to some animal rights advocates, including People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, which is PETA, a National Marine Fisheries Service import permit from 1992 for Tilikum requires that within 30 days of death, a necropsy and clinical history be submitted to the government. So SeaWorld claims that the 1992 permit is superseded by the 1994 amendments to the Marine Mammal Protection Act. The Marine Mammal Protection Act, Judy St. Leger, SeaWorld Entertainment Vice President of Science and Research, claims that there is no need for SeaWorld to release necropsy details. Oh my goodness. I guess it's not an autopsy when it's a mammal of the sea, but Tilikum's tissues are being used in more than a dozen studies that will be published upon completion. So that's... I'm sure I'm sure Peter just wants it to be some sort of negative thing so they can further spiral out SeaWorld. Whether they deserve it or not, that's to be remained. We all know how Pete feels on that matter. I will keep my opinions to myself for right now. But the death of the whale is still unfortunate. Now, out in Disneyland yesterday, at 4:37 p.m., a fire was reported on the second floor of Mickey and Friends parking structure at the Disneyland Resort. So after evacuating the structure, the authorities managed to extinguish the fire sometime before 5:30 p.m. That's according to the Anaheim Police Department. Police say that 7 individuals have been treated for smoke inhalation. 4 of them were taken to the hospital. 8 vehicles received major damage, and 4 of those being completely destroyed. So that's kind of crazy to me. Police estimate the total damage sustained from the blaze at $180,000. No cause for the fire has been confirmed, but foul play is not suspected. The lot reopened shortly after, so it'll be open today if you're headed to Disneyland. That's kind of crazy and a little scary to me that a fire just kind of erupted. I guess if they're not suspecting foul play, maybe somebody just had something in their car that was kind of flammable. But if you're in a parking structure, I don't know how that could catch fire, but... Either way, if you're coming to the parks and you're parking somewhere sunny, especially here in Orlando in the summertime, just be careful of that sort of things because the car gets pretty much hot enough to bake cookies inside of. Now, just one last thing before I go. I thought it was pretty important to include this. Some light spinner toy wands from Disney Live and Disney on Ice have been recalled. Feld Entertainment, the company that produces Disney Live and Disney on Ice, has recalled more than 30,000 toy wands that were sold at those shows. The top part of the light spinner wands can detach, and it apparently exposes an 8-inch metal rod, which is posing an injury hazard to children. The toy wands have either a Mickey or a Minnie Mouse on top and measure about 18 inches tall. The Mickey Mouse wands are yellow, red, and black, and the Minnie Mouse wands are pink, white, and blue. They were sold for, it looks like, around $22. Like I said, at Disney on Ice and the Disney Live shows that were running between October and December of 2016. If you purchase one of these wands, you're being advised to stop using it immediately and contact Feld Entertainment to receive a full refund. You can get all that recall information on our website, wdwinfo.com. And Feld Entertainment has stated that no injuries have been reported yet, so that's pretty good. We're lucky. But if you know somebody that was at those shows, like my brother was, make sure you let them know about those wands, because, you don't want anybody getting hurt. Now, over on the Diz Today, our featured article comes from Diane Whiting, who lists 5 fabulous romantic restaurants at Disney World. What a perfect day for that article. It might be a little too late to get a reservation for Valentine's Day, but I'd still try. You never know. There might be some Disney magic out in the air. But either way, I think it's a great article worth checking out at wdwinfo.com. Trending on Disboards today is a thread started by 5 Texans who asked about using packing cubes for her Disney cruise, as well as her pre- and post-cruise, excuse me, I'm stuttering like crazy, as well as her pre- and post-cruise stays at Walt Disney World. With all the regulations on airlines and cruise ships regarding how many suitcases you can bring and how much they're allowed to weigh, packing for a family can certainly be challenging. I mean, I can only imagine, because packing for myself for a 4-day weekend is extremely challenging. So throw some kids into that mix. All the regulations out there, it's crazy. Sometimes you just want some options. You don't know what you're going to wear 3 days from now. But look for that thread entitled "Packing Cubes, Yes or No" on Disney Cruise Line, on our Disney Cruise Line board forum, and join in on that discussion. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of helpful tips for packing either way on there, so be sure to check that out. Now, normally today, the Walt Disney World edition of the Diz Unplugged would be live at 1 p.m. Eastern. However, Pete is feeling a little under the weather. And like a considerate person, rather than forcing us to all be infected and become infectious and get ill, he canceled the show today. So that was very thoughtful of him. So, make sure that you're sending him some well wishes through whatever social media that you deem appropriate. But hint, he's really into Twitter right now. Just saying. But we all hope you feel better, Pete, and, thank you for thinking about us in that process as well. Now, finally, I've got the weather. I know everyone's favorite part of the show. So out in Anaheim today and tomorrow, it's going to be partly cloudy with highs in the mid to upper 70s and lows just around 50. Here in Orlando today and tomorrow, it's going to be cloudy with highs right around 80, gross, and lows right around 60, which is a little nicer. For links to everything that was discussed in today's Daily Fix, please visit the Daily Fix main page at wdwinfo.com/dailyfix. Now that's going to do it for me today. Thank you everybody for bearing with me as I stumbled through this Daily Fix. I hope you all have a great day. I'll see you later.